welcome to this Thursday, November the 12th version of Sunrise to Sunset with Pastor Gene. Today we're going to look at another very short book. Yesterday's look at 2nd John, I believe there was like 13 verses in that. Well, there's only 15 verses in 3rd John, but it's full of a lot of very important information. There's 3 people that are mentioned in this short epistle, but as a very interesting contrast and comparison of these 3 people that are worthy of the attention of the church. The first one is Gauis, who is someone who's a friend of the writer of the epistle, and he is responsible for a community of faith. He has shown some potential that has got the writer of this epistle overjoyed. He says in verse 3, "I was overjoyed when some of the friends arrived and testified to your faithfulness to the truth, namely how you walk in the truth." And of course, that truth is the love of God in Jesus Christ. And so Gauis is praised for this living in the truth. He goes on to say that he welcomes people who believe in what is the truth and what has been made known to him. In other words, who believe in the love of God through Jesus and knows that truth and is willing to live by that truth. And he says in verse 8, as he finishes up his conversation about this first character, Gauis, he says, "Therefore we ought to support such people that we may become co-workers with the truth." Not supporting those who live outside of that truth, but supporting those who live within it. Then he talks about another Diotrephes who likes to put himself first and doesn't like to acknowledge authority. Now, there are a lot of Diotrephes still around in the church today who like to put themselves first and who don't acknowledge authority. In fact, who actually speak very negative about the authority of those who have it in the church. And these folks who put themselves first and are constantly challenging authority, these are the very people who spread the false witness, who spread the false message about the gospel, who prevent the church from being able to be hospitable and welcoming, and actually are the very reason a lot of people get turned off to the church. You'd never know just to look at a 15-verse epistle, very short epistle in the New Testament, how relevant it is and was in that time and still to this day. Diotrephes is one who is practicing the evil of deception and leading people away from love, preventing them from doing the work of God. Right after he finishes with his second character, he gets into the 3rd chapter about Demetrius. And Demetrius is said in verse 12 to be one who has testified favorably, who has witnessed favorably to the truth itself. And witnessing to the love of God, having that love of God that is in action, that's not just about words, is something that ultimately is going to be affirmed by everyone. And so these 3 folks, Gauis, Diotrephes, and Demetrius, 3 persons, lots of things said about all of them in just a very few short verses of Scripture. I want to conclude the Johannine epistles with the final greetings from 3rd John, which reads as follows. I have much to write to you, but I would rather not write with pen and ink. Instead, I hope to see you soon, and we will walk together face to face. We will walk together face to face. I've always preferred face-to-face meetings. So if you want to take this as an interpreted scripture, that it's better to do things face-to-face than to do it by email or other text messages or Twitter or however you want to say it, it's always better to be able to see one another face-to-face, because as he concludes, there will be peace to you. The friends send you their greeting. Greet the friends there, each by name. And let's try to do it face-to-face as often as we can, from sunrise to sunset.